Chiropractic and Rehab, Rhonda Westland State Farm Insurance, Vision Care Associates, Explorers Credit Union, Slowey Management, Mason Schramm and the Move Group, MT&RC Smith Insurance, Triple Time Rudy's, Vision Real Estate, First Dakota National Bank, Yankton Medical Clinic, the UPS Store, Hy-Vee, First Chiropractic Centers, Pizza Ranch, and Missouri River Associates. Now broadcasting live from KYNT Studios, it's Huddling with the Herd with KYNT Sports Director Brayden Butler.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live for another week of Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and KYNTV. Huddling with the Herd is presented to you by Explorers Credit Union. They serve Northeast Nebraska and Southeast South Dakota. Discover the difference at explorerscu.com. We'll have a couple conversations over our Pizza Ranch phone line today. Got a chance to catch up yesterday over the phone with Chris Haynes of the Yankton Bucks basketball program and Justin Olson of the Yankton Gazelles gymnastics program. We'll also have an interview from earlier this week in the postgame of the Sioux Falls Jefferson game with head coach Blake Savvy of the Yankton Gazelles. Winter weather has changed the idea of what we were going to talk about today. Both games yesterday against Sioux Falls Roosevelt for the Yankton Bucks and Gazelles basketball teams have been postponed to February 5th. So we'll have more information on that as well as just a roundup of Yankton athletics. We got basketball, gymnastics, wrestling, hockey, all to talk about today. It's going to be a great day here for Huddling with the Herd on KYNT, KYNTV. We're going to come back in a couple minutes, so we're going to tip things off with Yankton Bucks basketball, look at their game on Tuesday, and hear from head coach Chris Haynes. Back in a couple minutes here on KYNT, KYNTV. This is Huddling with the Herd.
Looking for the perfect pair of glasses? At Vision Care Associates, we've got you covered. Step into our showroom and discover our vast selection from timeless classics to the latest trends. With several styles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect match for your look. Experience personalized service and expert care, whether you need help finding the right frame or adjusting your new glasses for the perfect fit.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
What if your next big adventure isn't somewhere out there, but already waiting for you at home? That kitchen remodel, a new addition, or that dream family getaway? Your home's equity can fuel it all. With a fixed-rate home equity loan from Explorers Credit Union, turn what you've built into where you're going next. Explorers Credit Union, we believe in helping you launch your next big adventure. Call 800-491-4309 and speak with a loan officer today. Explorers Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
At Mount Marty University, students get real support and real opportunities.
Hi, I'm Maya, and I'm a business major at Mount Marty University. The professors here at Mount Marty are just amazing. They're very good about supporting me through future internships and jobs that they try and line me up with, and they also provide real life experiences in the classroom through projects and speakers and things like that.
Start your journey online at mountmarty.edu.
At the Bar is the bar for sports fans. With coverage of NFL, college football favorites, Yankton High School action, and NHL hockey too. Open 7 days a week. Bring in your crew, grab a table, and take in all the action surrounded by fans who love the game as much as you do. The energy's better, the company's great, and the beverages are cold, just the way game day should be. You can watch the game anywhere, but real fans gather at the Bar in downtown Yankton.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYNTV. This is Huddling with the Herd. We're talking Yankton Bucks basketball to start things off here this morning. Going back to Tuesday, it was a thrilling game between the Bucks and the Cavaliers of Sioux Falls Jefferson, 49-47. The Bucks did trail 39-36 in the final seconds of regulation, but a huge three-pointer from Beck Reichen was able to force overtime, make it 39-39. Tel Tanner was on the call for that one. He actually had a really good call to the point where I'm going to play that call for you when we come back from our interview here shortly. The Bucks would go on to fall in overtime, like I said, by 2, 49-47. Jackson Kudera led Yankton in the game, a game-high 20 points and 7 rebounds for the sophomore, who is turning into a star, I think, before our very eyes for this Bucks basketball program. Their game against Sioux Falls Roosevelt yesterday has been postponed to February 5th. That'll still take place at Roosevelt High School, all scheduled times, 7 p.m. tip-off, and we'll have 6:30 pregame on KYNT and KYN TV. But up next for Yankton is O'Gorman on Tuesday. So best chance, or it's their best opportunity to go and hear from head coach Chris Haynes of the Yankton Bucks. Spoke to him yesterday over the Pizza Ranch phone line about his Bucks team, where they're at in this season. And he, a couple times, wanted to really hammer home, it felt like, the best basketball for this team feels like it's in front of them, even with a 1-8 record right now. They've played, I think, 7 of the top 10 teams in the class already, so they are battle-tested and ready to pick up some wins here down the stretch. But let's hear from head coach Chris Haynes now here on Huddling with the Herd. This is Brayden Butler for Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT, KYN TV. Joining us now over the Pizza Ranch phone line is head coach Chris Haynes of the Yankton Bucks. Coach Haynes, we're recording this a day before for Huddling with the Herd. We're supposed to host Sioux Falls, or on the road against Sioux Falls Roosevelt today, but that game has been postponed to February due to cold weather throughout the area. So a little extra time off. How are you feeling about your team at this point in the season, coming off a very close game against Sioux Falls Jefferson on Tuesday?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, Brayden, it's probably not the worst time to have a postponement. I mean, it's never great, to get away from your original schedule. But if there ever was a time, this is probably okay. We've been going pretty steady every Tuesday, Friday, 2 days a week, and just feel like it's good to kind of catch our breath here and get to where we don't have a game and we can have a few practices. Obviously, we can't practice today with no school, but the weather's supposed to let up a little bit, so we're hoping we can get in the gym tomorrow afternoon. And then even with the forecast, we were pretty, by practice time yesterday, we were pretty certain that, it wasn't looking good to have the game. So we were able to focus on some things, again, about just improving, as far as our team and what we're doing. And so we were able to do that yesterday. Hopefully we get a practice in tomorrow afternoon. And then another practice on Monday. So 3 real good practices this time of year. Sometimes it's hard to get that. So, again, that's what I mean by the schedule. It wasn't the worst time for us to have a postponement. And where it falls on February 5th, we had a gap in there anyway in our schedule. So it'll be good to play that game in that area. So, hopefully we can take advantage of these few days, and thought we've shown some strides going in the right direction the last 3 games, even though we came up short in them. Played 3 really good teams in Huron, Watertown, and Sioux Falls Jefferson. Thought we started putting some things together, especially on the defensive end. We rebounded better. Now if we can just get our offense clicking a little bit better and we can do that, then hopefully we can get over the hump and start winning some of these games. But Tuesday is going to be a tough task. Coach Roby's got his team playing really good. Their last time out, saw them on film. They played Sioux Falls Jefferson right before us, and they just really, really played well. I thought it was their best game of the season. They really played with a lot of energy and defended, and he's got a nice roster again. They don't have the super big, strong 6'8" kid in the middle like they normally do, but they still have some size, but they're more guard-orientated this year and really put pressure on the basket with their dribble penetration, so we're going to have to do a good job of keeping their guards out of pain if we want to have a chance on Tuesday night.
And looking at your season so far, the Bucks are 1-8, but like you said, they've played some very tough teams. A lot of teams that are at or near the top of the AA standings. Obviously, Sioux Falls Lincoln is the number 1 team in the state right now. You had a game against them. Number 4 Watertown, number 6 Huron, number 7 Mitchell, number 8 Harrisburg. So you've played kind of the top end of Class AA so far this year. What's your message to your guys trying to make sure they're staying busy, staying locked in as we are heading to the back half of the season now with 9 games down and I think 11 to go in the regular season?
Yeah, I still firmly believe our best basketball is in front of us. Again, I didn't think we played very well before Christmas, and we had a nice stretch of practice over Christmas break, came back, had a good game against Aberdeen and got a win there. And then but I thought we struggled a little bit that following week. as far as at Vermilion and at Mitchell. Just didn't think we defended and stuff. But then, the last 3 games, we've shown strides of that. And so if our guys just can continue to understand how important it is for us, I think it's going to be hard for us to win games in the 60s and 70s. If we score 60, 70, that'd be awesome. We would definitely take it. But I think our guys are understanding the importance of having to defend and rebound and take care of the basketball. And I really think our best basketball is in front of us, because I think we're going to continue to get better on the offensive end. And, if we can do that, then we can get over the hump and start winning some of these games.
I know you talked a little bit about O'Gorman on Tuesday already, but looking at the Knights just a little more in depth, you kind of gave a preview of them, but what do your guys need to execute to come out on top on Tuesday when you host the Knights?
Yeah, like I said, we got to contain their guards. They really do a good job of getting downhill, and they spread you out. A little more of a spread offense that he's running this year, rather than throwing it inside to their big guys like they normally do. So that'll be key. And then you have to take care of the basketball against them, because they're very quick and very aggressive on the defensive end. You can tell that they want to get steals and go out in transition. So those will be 2 huge keys for us to see if we can't limit, some of their success in transition, and, for us to get some stops. And if we can keep them out of the paint and then force them into contested jump shots and get some rebounds, and we can get out in transition, hopefully get some easy baskets too.
That was head coach Chris Haynes of the Yankton Bucks basketball program here on KYNT and KYN-TV, joining us over the Pizza Ranch phone line for Huddling with the Herd. I teased it earlier on, but a 3-pointer at the buzzer is what forced overtime between the Jefferson Cavaliers and the Yankton Bucks back on Tuesday. Tell Tanner had the call of that game. I was up in Sioux Falls covering the Gazelles game that night, and Beck Reichen, his 3-pointer was a great call from Tell Tanner as well. So I'm going to play that again for you real quick here on KYNT and KYN-TV. Relive a little bit of magic from earlier this week, thanks to Beck Reichen and the Bucks basketball program.
Seconds to go. Yankton trailing by 3. Reichen with it. Reichen gonna put it up. It hits. Beck Reichen rocks the tray. Buzzer beater. We're going to overtime.
Electric moment inside the Summit Activity Center. You can hear the crowd in the background getting hyped up as well. It was a great shot from Beck Reichen. Obviously, we don't have the video for it if you're listening on the radio or watching online, but if you go back on KYN-TV on YouTube and watch that too, it's a contested shot. Beck Reichen is putting up a tough shot trying to will his team to overtime, and he did just that. So huge shot for Beck Reichen and the team. Like we said, though, unfortunately, coming up just 2 points short in overtime for the Bucks. We're going to go back to break. When we come back, we're going to stick with basketball and talk about the Yankton Gazelles. They had 1 game this week due to yesterday's postponement as well. So we're back in a couple minutes to talk about Gazelles basketball here on KYNT, KYN-TV.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
From the first wails of surprise to first day of school questions, playground adventures, learning to drive stress, and graduation cheers, they'll always be your little sunshine. At Avera Children's, we get kids, teens, and parents too. We'll step you through first checkups, milestones, sickness, and specialized care when your child needs it, and treat them like our own every step of the way. Learn more at avera.org/children's.
Imagine paid vacation, sick leave, holidays, and full medical coverage the moment you start a new job. Plus quarterly profit sharing, 5% 401k match, and a company-paid retirement plan your first day on the job. With Parker of Yankton, you don't have to imagine, because all these benefits begin day one. We are hiring assemblers, material handlers, and line operation techs for both shifts. Don't mind working nights? Enjoy a pay differential of $235. If you're looking to upgrade your career and have day one benefits, apply today at parker.com.
Parker, engineering your success.
Rodents want to make your home their home. Pesky invaders go in search of warm housing and food for the winter. An invasion of rodents can be costly and can contribute to disease and contamination of products. So trust the experts to keep them out. Olson Pest Technicians is family-owned with over 80 years of experience. Even the toughest infestations don't stand a chance. Olson Pest Technicians, putting pests to rest since 1966. Call 800-KIL-BUGS.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN-TV for Huddling with the Herd. I am Brayden Butler, and good Saturday morning to everybody joining today. It's a cold one outside. Had to get my battery replaced earlier this week, and it was perfect timing. My car has started just fine the last couple days, so thanks to TMA. That's where I got it changed over there, but great people, but I digress. So stay warm today. Hopefully you're inside while listening to Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and KYN-TV. Let's talk about Gazelles basketball now. They fell to 2-6 on Tuesday, a 62-32 loss to the Sioux Falls Jefferson Cavaliers. And it really was a tale of two halves. There's a point late in the second quarter. I remember the play vividly. September Rao drives from the right wing. No look pass to the right corner to Sabrina Kraske. She drains a three. It puts the Gazelles up at that point 21-19. But after that, it was all Sioux Falls Jefferson. From that point on, it's a 42-11 run for Jefferson. So they really blew the doors off after that. But the Gazelles did get into a little bit of foul trouble here and there. Eden Wolfgram sat for a chunk of time in the second half with a little bit of foul trouble, and that really, I think, took a little bit of wind out of the sails for the squad. But I feel like it should have been closer than the final score suggests. Yankton is playing very well right now. They still got some young players who are stepping up to mix in with their veterans on the team. But you know, it's a team that heading into the back of the season, I think, has a very good chance to make the Sodak 16. And Yankton's a tough team to play if you do get into that Sodak 16 with how when they're at their peak, how they move the ball, how they move in transition, and when their full court press is clicking, they can really disrupt offenses. But let's hear from head coach Blake Savvy. This is from the post game of Tuesday's loss to Sioux Falls. Jefferson got a chance to catch up with him out at Jefferson High School. So let's go to that interview now here on KYNT, KYN-TV.
Coach Savvy, ends up being a tough loss in this one. It really was a tale of two halves for you guys today. It was close in that first half, and then 24-8 third quarter kind of blew the doors open for Sioux Falls Jefferson. Just what are your initial thoughts coming off the sideline after a tough loss?
You know, I thought in the first half we did a good job pressuring and creating some things for us defensively as far as turning them over a little bit and letting that lead to some offense. And did a good job attacking the paint again in the first half. You know, I think we attempted 10 free throws for the game, and I'm going to assume that most of those came in the first half. And then in the third quarter, we just kind of let their pressure get us out of anything we wanted to do as far as organization offensively. And that led to a few too many turnovers and just a lot of breakaway layups. You know, they're a fast team, and they got down the court. We just weren't there in transition, and a lot of easy buckets to get them on a little bit of a roll. And then, you know, when you see the ball start to go in, now shots start to fall a little easier from the outside, and it just kind of snowballs from there. And offensively, I think we just have to find a way to handle the pressure, work through the pressure, and still execute what we want to do offensively.
Had a little bit of foul trouble tonight for your leading scorer in Eden Wolfgram. I believe had 3 fouls at the halftime break. Did not start the second half to try to keep her safe. But she ends the night with 10 points here. I felt like there were times where the offense was able to click without her on the floor, but there was a bit of a difference without her being able to play the full time out there.
Yeah, and that's one I got to look at. You know, kind of made the decision to try and rock without her to start the half and save her for a little bit of a run at the end of the game. You know, and now watching it all play out, you probably trust her in that scenario to just go and play defense without fouling. But, you know, those games are going to happen, and we've got to find ways to score without her on the court as well. And, you know, I think just continue to play team basketball through all of that. I think we started to lose that a little bit.
still, there's a couple positives still to focus on despite the loss in the end, and one of those is a freshman player. I feel like we talk about every broadcast now. Jordan Kudera finishes the night with 12 points. Another game in double digits for her, her second game as a starter. I think she's been transitioning to a more active role very well.
Yeah, she is hitting from the outside and finding lanes to the rim as well. And, she just has been on a little bit of a roll here offensively, and so we're excited to see that confidence continue to grow and keep it going.
Did have to cut the post-game interview short there for our replay today because we went on to talk about Sioux Falls Roosevelt, which that game did not end up happening yet. That one will take place now on February 5th. That is a Tuesday. And the Yankton Gazelles game here in town is actually going to tip off earlier than the Bucks game. The Bucks will tip off at 7. The Gazelles will tip off at 6 that day with a 5:30 pregame on KYN-TV. So make sure to mark your calendars for that. That's coming up on February 5th. Next up for Yankton is their home game on Tuesday against the O'Gorman Lady Knights. That is a boys and girls doubleheader, 6 p.m. tip-off, 5:15 pregame here on KYNT and on KYN-TV. I'll be on the call for that one. So that's coming up on Tuesday. That's next up for the Bucks and Gazelles. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to talk Yankton Bucks and Gazelles wrestling here on KYNT and KYN-TV. Fairly busy week for the wrestling program. They had a triangular on Thursday. I should say they're coming off a much busier week last week, a little more subdued week this week, but kind of got it backwards there, but I digress. You're listening to Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and KYN-TV. We're coming back in a couple minutes to talk about Bucks and Gazelles wrestling.
In nearly every family's lineage, there's a tie to agriculture. It's a legacy reflected in how we raise our kids, help our neighbors, and respect what we have. Farmers Union Insurance was built on that legacy. And while our roots are in agriculture, our protection has grown to include home, auto, business, health, and life. Protect your legacy. Farmers Union Insurance.
Call Brendan Hansen and Brandon Tykrow or visit them at Suite 101B Morgan Square in Yankton.
If you've been suffering from chronic pain or a recent injury,
check us out, Lane, Reed, and Cole Sawatsky at SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab.
We offer a wide variety of treatments and techniques, including dry needling, cupping, chiropractic adjustments, and sports rehabilitation.
Our mission is to ensure an individualized and efficient treatment plan to get you back on your feet.
From ankle sprains and sports injuries to neck pain and headaches, we've got your back.
Give us a call or book an appointment on our website. SWAT Chiropractic, specialized wellness and therapy.
Located on Summit Street across from the high school.
When you make the right decision, it feels good. Like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision too. That's why State Farm agent Rhonda Westland is right here in Yankton to help you select the right protection at the right price. Rhonda will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Rhonda Westland, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call her. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Do you struggle with dry contacts? At Vision Care Associates, we have a great option. Infused contact lenses by Bosch & Lomb. Infused lenses are designed to ensure that your eyes stay hydrated and irritation-free, even after a full day of wear. Our doctors specialize in fitting these lenses for maximum comfort and optimal vision. Schedule your consultation and experience the all-day comfort and crisp, clear vision you deserve.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Welcome back here on KYNT, KYN-TV. This is Huddling with the Herd. We're going to talk about Yankton Bucks and Gazelles wrestling now here on the broadcast. We'll start with the Bucks. On Thursday, they swept Vermilion and Dakota Valley in a triangular that was at Vermilion High School. The Bucks defeated Dakota Valley 75-5, so a dominant showing there for the Bucks. Ethan Smith at 126, Evan Jackman at 132, Jolton Remnitz Hahn at 138, Caden Jansen at 144, Nathan Bowman at 150, Zane Portillo at 157, Peyton Eustace at 190, and Edley Amaro at 215. All not only picked up wins for the Bucks, but picked up wins via pinfall. Later on in the day against Vermilion, a 65-18 win for the Bucks. Remnants Hahn, Eustace, and Amaro winning by pinfall again in that duel, as did Chase Platt at 165, Corbin Seiler at 175, and Trace Gaskins at 285. Damian Janish at 113 picked up a win via tech fall against the Tanagers. Switching to the Gazelles side of the wrestling program, they also went 2-0 in their triangular against Vermilion and Dakota Valley. Yankton took 24-6 wins over both teams. Adriana Boucher and Jacqueline Kite both winning via pinfall for the Gazelles against Vermilion. Boucher at 100 pounds and Jacqueline Kite at 140. Only one match was held between Yankton and Dakota Valley. Dakota Valley's Kaylin Rasmussen won that match, with the remaining points decided via forfeits. But both teams end up going 2-0 on Thursday in their triangular. And they're back for another triangular this coming Tuesday up against Huron and T area in Huron. Matches set to begin for that at 5 p.m. That's for Bucks and Gazelles wrestling this coming Tuesday up in Huron. Gymnastics is what we're going to talk about next, but that's going to come up after this break. I had a lengthy conversation with head coach Justin Olson of the gymnastics program. It's been a couple weeks since we've been get a chance to catch up on the gymnastics team, so had quite a bit to talk about here on KYNT and KYN TV. That's coming up when we come back here on Huddling with the Herd. Back in a couple minutes.
What if your next big adventure isn't out there on the road? What if it's already waiting right at home? That kitchen you've been dreaming of, extra room to grow, or the family trip you've pictured long ago. Your home's equity can fuel it all. When your plans become a must, Explorers Credit Union. Build steady, build for us. Insured by NCUA. Call 800-491-4309 and put your equity to work for you today.
Traveling to Yankton for business or pleasure in 2026? Then book your stay at Yankton's two finest hotels, the Fairfield by Marriott and the Holiday Inn Express. Both are conveniently located to everything in Yankton. Both offer a complimentary hot breakfast and meeting rooms for business travelers. And if you want a great rate and flexible reservation changes, call either hotel direct, the Fairfield by Marriott and the Holiday Inn Express. Two great hotel choices when visiting or arranging rooms for guests to Yankton.
Buying a home isn't just about real estate. It's about investing in yourself. At the Move Group, we believe the best time to buy is when it makes sense for you. Our expert agents put people before transactions, meaning we listen first, provide honest guidance, and help you make a confident decision. No pressure, no gimmicks. Markets change, but the right home is about more than just numbers. It's about finding the right fit for your life and your future. When you're ready, we're here to help. Contact the Move Group today.
Loading the kids in the car, brokering peace in the back seat, mastering the snack handoff without even looking. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple, so you can worry about more important things, like figuring out what's growing in that cup holder. That's simple human sense.
Don't gamble. Insure with MT and RC Smith Insurance in Yankton, your independent agent for home, business, auto, life, and bonds. Visit mtrcsmithinsurance.com.
Welcome back here on KYNT and KYN TV. This is Huddling with the Herd. Let's talk about Yankton Gazelles Gymnastics. A lot of Yankton and Vermilion crossover this week. We just talked about a triangular between the Bucks and Gazelles and the Tanagers and Dakota Valley earlier this week in the wrestling side of things. And now Yankton Gazelles Gymnastics on Monday had a duel with the Tanagers. It was a 131.3 to 120.9 victory for the Gazelles Gymnastics squad. They took 5 of the top 6 spots in the all-around competition, led by Avery Portillo, who had a 33.7 all-around. In individual events, Emma Goebel took first place in 2 different events, in the beam with an 8.6 and the vault with an 8.9. Portillo placed first on the floor with an 8.8, and Berkeley Olson first on the bars with an 8.45. The Gazelles were supposed to travel to Hendricks, Minnesota on Thursday for their next duel against Esteline Hendricks, but that has been postponed to February 2nd. Now the future holds a road duel with O'Gorman on Monday at Power and Grace Gymnastics. Did get a chance, like I said, before going to our last break, to catch up with head coach Justin Olson of the Yankton Gazelles. Had a lengthy conversation with him about his program and where they are now. Just a couple weeks remaining in the season. The state tournament coming up February 13th and 14th. So just about 3 weeks left in the year for the Gazelles. Let's go to that interview now here on KYNT, KYN-TV. Brayden Butler here on KYNT and KYN-TV for Huddling with the Herd. Recording this a day in advance for today's show, but talking to head coach Justin Olson of Yankton Gazelles Gymnastics. Coach Olson, it's been a little bit since we've talked to you about the gymnastics program here on Huddling with the Herd. So for people who may want just an update on how the team's been doing, I believe right before Christmas was the last time we talked, maybe a little bit after the first meet. So just kind of give a rundown on how your team's been performing this season. I think a couple times I've read setting team highs and scores out there this year.
Yeah, thanks, Brayden. Yeah, we since we last chatted, we've been just had a flurry of meets, especially in January here, where it seems to be we have 2 meets per week. So trying to get stuff in to our routines, like new skills and stuff like that, is a little bit tougher because we don't have as much practice time in between. However, like you mentioned before, I'm very pleased with the team scores, both the JV and the varsity. We've been averaging right around 133, 134, for the varsity team, and then the JV team's hit 114, a couple times there. So, and we're going to take full advantage, as we round out the season here, the regular season, I guess, if you will. We have a few meets coming up to do that, to kind of increase our score and try to solidify kind of on our ESD, our state qualifying roster. And then hopefully we can qualify as a team and then bring all these girls to the state meet team night as well. And in the meantime, we've had a lot of great performances. We have a couple girls that have already qualified individually. How that works, Brayden, they take each event has a certain score you got to hit, and if you hit that score 3 times throughout the year, you automatically qualify into the individual state meet day, which is that Saturday later on in February. So Marissa Berkland, Avery Portillo have qualified on floor already, and Berkeley Olson and Marissa Berkland and a couple others have a couple more scores to fill into on beam. Berkeley's trying to qualify again on floor. And even though we don't have to necessarily hit those marks, because we get one more chance at the state qualifying meet that you hit the top 40, they want to get 40 girls in each event that get to qualify for that individual title. So, but it's kind of nice to have that peace of mind. But with that said, we've had a lot of girls come through, the JV team, to fill in, the gaps in our varsity team. So we don't have as many all-arounders this year. We just have some girls that will plug and play. Maybe their best event is beam. So a girl like Jalen Vogt, who moved up to varsity beam, hit that lineup and gives us a lot of competition within the gym and the practice space as well. So we've very, very excited. We've hit 137, which is one of our higher scores, in the past couple of years. So, we're just trying to battle some things with the beam and the bars. And if we get those things fixed up, I tell you what, Brayden, I would expect us to hopefully push, upper 30s, and hopefully our goal is to hit 140 by the time it's all said and done with.
And Coach, you mentioned a lot of events, it's felt like, since the calendar's turned over to January. You get a little bit of a breather this week due to Thursday's meet getting postponed against Esteline Hendricks. But last time the Gazelles went out and competed, it was a straight-up duel, one-on-one against the Vermilion Tanagers, 134.3 to 120.9. You guys ended up taking home 5 of the top 6 spots in the all-around competition, and I believe had an athlete place first in every individual competition as well. Avery Portillo won the all-around, first on the floor. Emma Goebel first on the beam and vault, and then Berkeley Olson first on the bars. So talk a little bit about Tuesday's meet and how that was a pretty impressive showing for the Gazelles, taking care of business against Vermilion.
Absolutely. We love competing against Vermilion. We have a lot of familiar faces there. As far as gymnasts, a lot of those girls did River City with our girls, and then as me as a coach. So it's a really fun environment to see them perform all around as far as the Tangers. And then, of course, our Gazelles, they really stepped it up for their last home meet that we hosted. And it was, like you mentioned, we took a lot of the top places. And it was like Emma Goebel, who was maybe struggling a little bit on beam. It was really nice to see her come through and win the beam. I knew that she had a good beam routine set, but just kind of like our season has kind of been on beam, up and down, and unfortunately, we've had a lot of downs off the beam, which affects your team score. But at that meet, Brayden, we stuck 5 out of 7 on the beam, which definitely helps your team score. We had a consistent bar routine with Berkeley, being really consistent. Probably our top bar swinger up there. And then Emma Goebel coming through on vault, and all those girls, have been performing consistently on vault. So we're ready to take that next step up. Our floor kind of fell back a couple points than what we're used to, but that's another event where we get to shine. We have Avi Portillo who won floor and is just entertainer out there on the floor. And I think some of our girls are starting to loosen up a little bit to kind of follow her lead. So with that meet, we're looking to capitalize on that momentum going into this Thursday. But unfortunately, we had this one postponed until next Monday, which is February 2nd. So we didn't lose the meet because we want that chance to qualify. So I praise the administration for finding us the next date on the calendar to squeeze it in. And we're looking forward to pushing on towards ESD and our state qualifier later on in February.
I was going to mention that in my next question, but you said it right there at the end. The Thursday's meet against Esseline Hendricks getting postponed to 2nd of February. So now your attention gets turned to O'Gorman. You're going on the road at Power and Grace Gymnastics, I believe, where that duel will be held on this coming Monday, January 26th. What are your expectations from your girls on that event?
Well, I think it's going to be one of those things where, we had our meet canceled on Thursday, and then they all sent a remind text saying, hey, are we going to have practice? Yeah, we got to still practice. We have O'Gorman on Monday. So they're looking for a really long break, Brayden, to come through, with no school today, of course. But got them back in the gym to have practice, and, it was fun. It was good. So we got taking care of some things that we need to get taken care of to hopefully electrify, what we can do in our performances on Monday against O'Gorman. And that's another team that, we kind of go back and forth with. So we're really looking forward to just that other duel, because it's another chance to maybe capture a dual win, both JV and varsity, and to add some of those skills to see how they score as we continue towards, where, hey, we got to decide if this is going to go into their routine or who's going to compete in this event. So this gives them another snapshot of that performance and that kind of that competition that we're looking for internally. And then, of course, that results in hopefully a good meet against O'Gorman, which everything we're priming up to, the postseason.
And you mentioned the postseason right at the end. It's about 3 weeks left in the entire gymnastics season. The state tournament taking place February 13th and 14th. So you guys don't have a lot of time left, a couple meets, and then obviously the state team qualifier and the state tournament. So we'll try to hopefully get you on weekly or maybe every other week heading down the stretch here a couple more times so we can keep talking about gymnastics as you guys get ready for the postseason here shortly.
Absolutely. I'd be more than willing anytime you'd like. Gymnastics in South Dakota is a strong thing, and I think that the more we can get the word out about how it is in the state, that there's more and more involvement from the younger kids and to participate and to grow the sport back again and keep it running at a high level.
Coach, thanks for taking time to talk today, and we'll talk to you again soon. And good luck to your team on Monday against O'Gorman.
All right. Hey, thanks, Brayden. Appreciate it.
That was head coach Justin Olson of the Yankton Gazelles here on KYNT and KYN-TV talking about the Gazelles gymnastics program. They're back in action on Monday at Power and Grace Gymnastics taking on O'Gorman. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll talk about Bucks hockey. No league games this past week, but they were active in a tournament, a Midsummer Classic youth hockey tournament in Omaha this past weekend, and they performed very well in that. We'll talk about that that when we come back here on KYNT, KYN-TV. This is Huddling with the Herd.
Looking for fuel or more? Stop by Triple Time Rudy's, your locally owned convenience store at 17th and Broadway. At Triple Time Rudy's, they're proud to support the community, offering fuel discounts to Yankton's largest employers and backing local activities and events. Inside, you'll discover regional favorites like Dimmick cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers. Whether it's a quick snack, a tank of top quality fuel, or a taste of local goodness, Triple Time Rudy's, fueling your day, fueling the community.
Moving is hard work. This is Deb Speck from Vision Real Estate, and I'd like to show you how I can make moving a little easier. From advice on staging your home, providing moving boxes, and the use of our enclosed courtesy trailer, to the behind-the-scenes social media marketing and attention to detail, you can rest easy knowing that you have an experienced professional working for you. Call me, Deb Speck, at 605-664-5555.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Big news for Yankton and the surrounding area. Yankton Medical Clinic is proud to announce the addition of YMC Eye Care Clinic. Dr. Trevor Kindle and Dr. Rockney are now seeing patients for routine eye exams, glasses and contact prescriptions, and emergency eye care for unexpected injuries. As Yankton natives, they're committed to caring for the community they call home. Plus, Dr. Kindle is the area's only local comprehensive ophthalmologist and cataract surgeon. Call 605-655-1830. Third floor of the Pavilion, Yankton Medical Clinic. So much care, so close to home.
Welcome back here on KYNT, KYN-TV for Huddling with the Herd. Let's talk Yankton Bucks hockey. They were competing in the Midsummer Classic Youth Hockey Tournament. Midsummer Classic. Might be Midwinter Classic. Might have read that one wrong. I digress. But they were in the Youth Hockey Tournament in Omaha over the past weekend. They were in the high school red division of the tournament, and the Bucks hockey program took first place in that tournament. The JV program actually took second in the high school white division as well. So congrats to the JV program. But looking at the season as a whole for the Bucks varsity team, currently ranked third in the class with a 9-2 record. Both of those losses coming to the Rushmore Thunder, who are still the number one team in the entire state. The Rushmore Thunder, very, very good. Once again, who could have seen this coming as they continue to churn out a great hockey program over in Rapid City. But looking at some team leaders so far this season for the Bucks, Tucker Rankin leads the way in points, 34 points this season. That's goals plus assists is what gets you points. 15 goals and 19 assists for Rankin. Jack Pedersen, 27 points on 12 goals and 15 assists. And then 22 points each for Brayden Birkeland and Kylan O'Connor. Birkeland has 10 goals and 12 assists. O'Connor has 12 goals and 10 assists. In net for the Bucks, Luke Moeller has been a standout in between the sticks. 1.84 GAA, that's goals allowed on average in a game, a .913 save percentage, one shutout this season, and 240 total saves for Luke Moeller. The 9-2 Bucks only 2 points back of second place Sioux Falls East, who are 10-1. Everybody in the league right now chasing the 13-0 Rushmore Thunder on 26 points. The Bucks have the third best goal differential in the league at plus 57. They've scored the second most goals in the league at 80 this season as well. So a very impressive so far for Yankton. They're back in action this coming weekend, and they got a busy slate of games next weekend. 3 games in 3 days. They host Brandon Valley Friday night, January 30th at 8 p.m. And then we'll have coverage of their next 2 games on KYN-TV as they take on Watertown at 7 p.m. Saturday evening. Coverage of that, like I said, exclusively on KYN-TV, 6:30 pregame. And then Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. puck drop between Yankton and the Brookings Rangers. That's all coming up next week on KYN-TV. But a couple big games for Yankton. 6 home games remaining. they have those three I just mentioned for the Bucks. They got a weekend back-to-back against Aberdeen, February 14th and 15th, and then they end the regular season home slate February 22nd against Sioux Falls East, a 2 p.m. puck drop. I believe the games left on our schedule for KYN-TV, the two I mentioned next week, Watertown and Brookings, the 31st and February 1st, and then I believe the final home game of the season, February 22nd, is on our schedule as well for Yankton Bucks hockey. It's been an impressive season so far for the Bucks. We'll see if they can keep it rolling into the end of the year. We're going to take another break here on Huddling with the Herd. When we come back, it's going to be YHS Nation and still sports related for YHS Nation this week. I know we talked competitive cheer and dance in the fall season during their competition season, but we're going to hear about sideline cheer, especially for winter sports. Scotty Borman was able to catch up and talk about that for today on YHS Nation. So that's what we're going to talk about when we come back here on KYNT, KYN TV. You're listening to Huddling with the Herd.
Getting your business noticed starts with the right print. The other day, a customer came into the UPS store Yankton to pick up blueprints we printed for him. While we finished his order, he mentioned needing business cards. At the UPS store, we handle all your printing needs. Stop in and ask about our current print specials. And that customer? We had his new business cards ready the very next business day. Come explore our small business solutions at the UPS store in Yankton.
Save time and shop online at Hy-Vee. Enjoy the same low prices and great deals online as in store. It's fast and easy. Just shop groceries from our app or online. Choose a pickup or delivery time that fits your schedule. And done. Plus, you can create and save grocery lists, browse weekly deals and coupons, and earn fuel savers. Whatever you need, wherever you are, just one click away. Save time and shop online today at Hy-Vee. Some restrictions apply.
Sports injuries can be the result of competitive activities, but can also happen by just participating in leisure activities too. If you're experiencing pain as the result of your chosen activity, consider chiropractic care. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson with First Chiropractic Centers. We have experienced chiropractors that work with sports injuries every day. Our treatment options are aimed to minimize pain, reduce recovery time, and reduce risk of future injuries. Visit First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Long day, good day, either way, Yankton Pizza Ranch makes it easy. Our buffet is always ready with fresh pizzas, mouth-watering desserts, and the country's best chicken. No waiting, no stress, just grab a plate and enjoy. So when you need comfort made simple, make today a buffet day at Yankton Pizza Ranch. Buffet every day from 11 to 8.
It's where life tastes better. Surround them up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch.
Whoa, that's good.
Ever have one of those days? Your car breaks down, your dog decides your couch is a chew toy, and oh yeah, a tree falls on your roof. Don't worry, Missouri River Associates has you covered. Auto, home, pet mishaps, we're here for all of life's little oops moments. Call 665-6885 for your free quote, because life happens, and we're ready for it.
At Vision Care Associates, we're always improving our technology for the health of your eyes. With OptiMap dilation-free exams, you get a comprehensive view of your retina without the need for dilation eye drops. It's quick, easy, and best of all, it keeps your day interruption-free. OptiMap captures a detailed image of your eye, helping to detect any problems. No blurriness, no discomfort, just clear, precise results. Book your OptiMap exam now.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Welcome back here on KYNC, KYN-TV. You are listening to Huddling with the Herd. It's time for YHS Nation here on KYNT and KYN-TV. But before we get into that, we're going to look at the activities calendar for the coming week. Starting on Monday, gymnastics is a varsity duel against O'Gorman at Power and Grace Gymnastics. That gets started at 5:30 p.m. Power and Grace Gymnastics is located at 1908 Jennifer Place in Sioux Falls, for those wanting to go and attend that meet. On Tuesday, January 27th, Bucks and Gazelles basketball have a home doubleheader against O'Gorman. The girls play first at 6 p.m. with the boys to follow. Pre-game coverage on KYNT and KYN-TV scheduled for 5:15. Bucks and Gazelles wrestling also in action on Tuesday at Huron Arena. They take on the Huron Tigers and the T-Area Titans in a triangular. The Bucks and Gazelles will take on T starting first at 5 p.m. and then take on Huron in their next duel. A rolling schedule will be used, so as soon as they're done at 5 p.m., they're getting right in to the next duel. Jumping ahead now to Thursday, January 29th. Gazelles basketball get to make up their game against the Huron Tigers, originally scheduled for the 9th of December, now taking place on the 29th of January. That's at Huron Arena, 7 p.m. tip-off on Thursday. Pre-game coverage, KYNT and KYNTV, begins at 6:30. On Friday, January 30th, debate has the Cavalier Invite at Sioux Falls Jefferson High School. Middle school All-State Jazz Band taking place at Mitchell, and high school band Quad State Honor Band next Friday at the University of South Dakota. Other things going on, Gazelles Wrestling has, Bucks and Gazelles Wrestling has a quadrangular on Friday at Lenox. This was also originally scheduled for the 9th of December. Yankton will take on Lenox, Sioux Falls Washington, and Sioux Falls Lincoln in the event. That all starts at 4:30 p.m. Also, Bucks and Gazelles basketball Friday evening at home against Brandon Valley. Girls play first at 6 p.m. with the boys to follow. Pre-game coverage, KYNT and KYNTV at 5:15. Now let's go to YHS Nation this week. It's sideline cheers, the topic of discussion this week. So we'll turn it over to Scotty Borman for YHS Nation here on KYNT, KYNTV.
This is Scotty Borman for KYNT's YHS Nation, and today I'm talking to the head coach for the winter cheer teams, which is Courtney Rossenberger. So, Courtney, how are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're quite welcome. So why don't you give us a bit of a background? What do our cheerleaders get to cheer our Yankton Bucks and Gazelles on to victory for here during the winter season? And how many cheerleaders do you have?
Our cheerleaders, we have 9 total, 5 for the Bucks cheerleading and 4 for Gazelles cheerleading. We're there to promote school spirit and hopefully lead each team into victory.
Okay, great. And I know I've seen, unlike when I was in at high school here, there are mascots that make appearances. Does that fall under the cheer team, or is that separate?
It does. It does fall under us. So you'll see me running around at a game all over to get Bucky and Gazelle whatever they need. If they need water, break, or see a kid, yes, we are in charge of the mascot for Bucky and Gazelle as well.
Outstanding. Do you have special students that are designated as the Bucky and Gazelle costumes, or does that rotate, or how does that work?
Yeah, so at the end of each cheer season, we have tryouts, and girls who maybe don't make it can try out for a mascot, or if they do make it, they can also, put on there they can want to do a mascot. But this year, I made a poster for the high school and just advertised, we want you to be Bucky and Gazelle for mascot. And I got a good 5-6 people. So we have a group, and we just chat, and who can do it does it, and then that's how we kind of play out each game.
Okay, I've worn similar type suits before. They can get hot, and the visibility usually isn't that great. So it's good to have the assistants coming around as well. Like you were saying, you get them water and that type of stuff. Do they switch off anytime? Let's say if there is a home doubleheader basketball game, do you have maybe more than one pair being those mascots?
Yes, normally I try to get a couple different, because I know how hot it is. After they take the mascot costume off, they're dripping sweat. They're doing hard work. So I do tend to have a couple of 4 people do it. If not, we have some great students that'll do both. But luckily, the Booster Club gave us funds, and we put fans in there recently into the Buck and Gazelle. So it helps them cool off a little bit. But, yeah, we try to rotate as much as possible, especially during the football season, in state basketball or football like we just had. We rotate.
Okay. That's really cool. And do they mainly do home games or do they do this traveling as well, like the rest of the cheerleaders?
So actually, our cheerleaders don't travel anymore unless it's for like SODAC 16 for basketball or playoffs. And of course, like state, we obviously went. So I don't know if it'll go for basketball for state if they'll travel, but for sure Bucky did go to state football, so it traveled. So we don't travel very much with it. Normally home games is where we bring our mascots out.
Okay, excellent. So it's if anybody wants to support the cheerleaders, it's going to be at all the home games, and that makes it a lot simpler when they got the split double headers and stuff, like one game here and one game, let's say in Aberdeen, things like that, right?
Yes, it makes it so much simpler. But yeah, we love our mascots, and the kids love the mascots. We just ask everyone, come say hi, like show them some love. That's what they're there for. Yeah,
and I'm assuming all the not all the but all the cheerleaders are girls, I'm assuming, or do you have any guys that are on the team, or how's that looking for you guys?
For the cheerleaders, we do not have any males, but we do have male mascots. So there's a couple males that have done the mascot as Bucky and or Gazelle, but no male cheerleaders though.
Is that something that you guys are open for, or
yeah,
is that?
I don't think there's any type of like requirement regardless of female or male. So I'd be open to males if they would like to try out in the spring. I got one for it.
All right, no problem. The spring season, there's not a whole lot in the way of cheerleading since track and field's the major sport there, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And and can you walk us through a little bit what is the process for anybody that's interested in cheerleading for the fall sports, the winter sports? What type of things are you looking for? How does the tryout process work for you guys?
Yeah, so I'll kind of go through it. In the spring, so middle of April normally, end of March sometimes, we'll hold tryouts. And anyone that is interested in regardless if it's football cheer, basketball cheer, competitive cheer, they will attend a couple practices for tryouts, and then obviously practice, and then do a tryout 3 days later in front of some judges that are not the school district. Last year we had some Mount Marty cheerleaders be judges, so they're non-biased there. And then cheerleaders, we just look for jumps, if they can stunt, tumble, any previous cheerleading history, and honestly, like school spirit. Like I'm really if you might not have a big jump, but if you have good school spirit, that's all I ask for is your enthusiasm and your love for Yankton.
Yeah, that's probably the hard part to try and teach somebody anyway, right? The school spirit. Now, if somebody is interested, you said that the main work is in the spring. What's the best way for a student to be able to reach out and get a hold of anybody when that time is? I mean, I'm assuming that there's notifications around the high school and everything like that, but is there any other ways?
I would assume that we would make a poster when it gets closer and have it hung out through the high school. And then sometimes it'll be posted on the school app. And then just word of mouth. And if anyone's ever interested, they can always get a hold of myself or Coach Pavel, who's the football coach, at any time, or Ryan Morris, the athletic director. We always in communication. And if someone's interested, we just let us know, and we can always get in contact with them.
Okay, and you did mention the competitive cheer and dance. I'll throw them in there. So do your cheerleaders, a lot of times, do they do both duty? So they end up on the competitive one as well when they compete for all that stuff as well, or is it sort of exclusive?
Nope. So our majority of actually our football squad this year was on dance team as well, and then a few were on competitive cheer. So you can kind of double dip for the fall sports. So you can be on dance team and do football, or you can be on competitive and do football. You just can't be on dance team and then do competitive cheer. That's the only time you can't. But we do have a lot of double dippers, especially the fall with the football. I know a lot of the dancers like to do that because they have like the private dance classes in the spring, so they can't do basketball. But we encourage it. I mean, we work side by side with each other and support each other wherever on that side.
That's awesome. And is there anything else? I know you guys are going to be at all the home games the rest of the basketball season, but is there anything else you'd like to tell our listeners about our cheerleading squad and how they're doing?
Yeah, I just encourage, the fans of Yankton to cheer with us. I mean, I know our cheerleaders are on the high school section, but if we're doing a cheer, we love that the parents will stand up and cheer in the crowd as well. Or if they want us to go cheer on the parent side, we'll come do that. Just support us and come to the events. Give Bucky and Giselle a high five, a hug, send your kid over. We love all of it. We have a love for the Yankton School District and the sports. So that's why we do what we do.
Awesome, Courtney. Thank you very much. And go Bucks and Gazelles, right?
Yes, go Bucks and Gazelles. Good luck tomorrow to all of them and then the rest of the season.
All right. This is Scotty Borman for KYNT.
Big thank you to Scotty Borman for conducting that interview for YHS Nation. Coach Rosenberg for talking about the sideline cheer program for the Yankton School District, supporting the Bucks and Gazelles basketball teams right now. Also, interesting information about Bucky and Giselle as well, the mascots that I know a lot of younger fans are big fans of when they're at the games. So big thank you again for that on YHS Nation. And that's going to wrap things up here today for Huddling with the Herd on KYNT and KYN-TV. I have been Brayden Butler. This has been another great week of Yankton Bucks and Gazelles athletics. Busy week next week. It's going to be a busy couple weeks. About a busy week and a half, I should say, for coverage of Yankton Bucks and Gazelles athletics. This is everything that's coming up on KYNT or KYN-TV in the coming week and a half. So strap in. Tuesday night, doubleheader against O'Gorman, Bucks and Gazelles basketball. Thursday night, Gazelles basketball on the road at Huron. Friday night, Bucks and Gazelles basketball at home against Brandon Valley. Saturday night, Bucks hockey taking on Watertown. Sunday afternoon, Bucks hockey again taking on Brookings. And then after that, we come back Tuesday, split doubleheader against the Peer Governors for Bucks and Gazelles basketball. Gazelles will be at home, Bucks on the road. We won't be in person in Peer on Tuesday, but we're going to be able to take the video feed from KCCR and Peer. Big thank you to John Winkler for that. And I will be in the booth for that, doing pregame, postgame, and halftime reports for that game on Tuesday. So we'll have the best coverage we can get on Tuesday for that one. So a busy week and a half coming up for Yankton Bucks and Gazelles athletics. We have all of it here on KYNT and KYN-TV. Thank you for joining us once again. I have been Brayden Butler, and until next week, stay safe, be good people, and have a great night, everybody. This has been Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN-TV.